Hi, I'm Tucker Thompson from T2P TV, and welcome back to the ISAF Nations Cup Grand Final here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And so far, we have determined the top 3 sailors who will move on into the semifinals. In the women's division, we have Olivia Price, Mandy Mulder, and Claire Leroy. And for the open division, it's Mads Elder, Laurie Jury, and Lucy McGregor. So today, we'll determine the all-important 4th spot in both divisions. After a long postponement, we're going to get underway with today's first race, and in our first match, it's Brazil's Juliana Senft, and she's facing Rita Goncalves. At the gun, someone's over. Quick reaction has Goncalves over and cleared. It's a very port tack favored beat. The advantage is to be to windward at the start and be able to tack away first. That's Senft, and she'll have starboard tack when the boats meet on the ley line. 2 tacks later, we're not on ley line. Senft crossed Goncalves, who then used starboard tack advantage for her team. Green flag and the penalty. This game is very close. So Goncalves has the advantage. Inside room at the mark, she'll tack and take an early lead over Senft. Goncalves now is in a tough position after the jibe. Senft is on her breeze and trying to roll over the top of her. Senft is clear to the inside here at the bottom mark, so she will round ahead. Goncalves is uncomfortably close though, but a very well sailed run for the Brazilian team. As match 1 sails upwind, we're back on the line for a heavily port-favored start between Sean Bennett, who just beat Canada's Peter Wickwire off the line. So Bennett leads Wickwire upwind for the men. Back in the women, Goncalves has even the score with Senft halfway up the beat. Remember Bennett's match? Well, they have overlapped our feature match with the women and become an obstacle for Goncalves and Senft. That's Senft just behind. In the middle is Bennett winning his match over Wickwire, and Goncalves is leading all 3 boats into the mark. And at the finish, it's Rita Goncalves who scores a win over Senft. Jenny Tulloch wound up winning her match over Ru Wang. Now we're back with the men, and it is very close between Poland and Brazil. That's Enrique Haddad. He's been leading the whole time. But Tarnacki is very close, and that's going to put the heat on. Back at the line, it's Bennett who wraps up his match over Wickwire. At the mark, it's Haddad who moves into the lead, and this is the final run to the finish. And on the finish, Haddad racks up his first win along with Tulloch, Bennett, and Goncalves. Back on the line, we're with match 2 for the women. Juliana Senft faces Jenny Tulloch. Tulloch leads Senft to the starting line. She's set up to leeward, which to my eye looks strong as the upper left looks favored. Senft will tack away. Tulloch definitely gets the left, and it's a split tack. Start at the gun. Up the track, the left pays off, and that's where Tulloch plants one right on top of Senft. At the top mark, Tulloch holds the set before finally passing Senft, leading downwind by 4 lengths. At the bottom of the track, it's a comfortable lead for Tulloch as we join the men in the pre-start. In the match between Sean Bennett from USA and Przemek Tarnacki from Poland. A luff from Tarnacki. Bennett was in trouble and had to tack away. So it was Tarnacki who got the start at the pin, but halfway up the beat, Bennett seems to be sliding forward. Bennett tacks with starboard advantage. Tarnacki left with no other option but to settle for the leeward position. So while Bennett is off to an early lead, downwind Wang is putting the heat on Goncalves. Wang lost her last match and needs to pass Goncalves to stay in the game. She's close, but it's Goncalves who rounds first by only half a boat length. Goncalves' lead is narrow, so is Bennett's downwind over Tarnacki. At the top mark, Goncalves has gained a little bit, perhaps a length on the beat. Now it's up to Wang to catch up. It's 2 jives for Wang to stay with her opponent. Meanwhile, with the men, Wickwire is leading but very close in his match over Haddad. Oh, here's the moment of truth. A dial down. Haddad crosses. Good move by Wickwire. He'll slide bow forward and need it because he also has a penalty to do. Wickwire is in the perfect position to shed his penalty here. They're sailing past the mark. Now comes the luff. Ooh, did Haddad respond there? I'm sure we'll see a flag from Wickwire. Now the hoist. It's up to the umpires to make the call. Oh, more close action. Port starboard and a collision. Wickwire avoids. More flags. The call, a yellow flag. He's done it, and the penalties are gone. But the match is far from over. More from Haddad as the leeward boat. Wickwire keeps clear. Nice move, Haddad. A double jibe. A quick response by Wickwire to avoid. Now we could see a luff. Wickwire has to keep clear, and he does. Wickwire keeps the pedal on, but Haddad has slid bow forward, approaching the leeward mark. Just what he needs to do to be in front. So a really good effort by the Canadians to get rid of the penalty, but now they have to catch up. This race belongs to Haddad. Wickwire splits upwind with Haddad in the lead. Meanwhile, Tarnacki does all he can downwind to the finish to catch Sean Bennett. At the finish, the race goes to Bennett. Behind them, Haddad wins his match as well as Tulloch and Goncalves. And so the stage is set for this final flight. Whoever wins their match will move on into the semis. And in our first one, we have Jenny Tulloch facing Rita Goncalves. 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Is Tulloch leading in? No, she'll have one more maneuver against Goncalves. The final approach to the line has Goncalves leading in a last-minute move over Tulloch's bow. 10 seconds to go, but Goncalves not out of the woods. She's in trouble of just making the pin. Tight to windward, Tulloch tacks, Goncalves tacks. Both boats are slow. Here's the start. Off the line, Tulloch pulls forward, Goncalves tacks for clear air, and the U.S. team tacks right to windward. Halfway up the beat, Goncalves is putting on the heat. A tight lay line works for Tulloch, and she just squeezes up and around the mark. Goncalves comes in with a lot of pace on the set. The game is definitely going to be hot downwind. There's the jibe from Goncalves, just barely missing the umpires. Tulloch's move is next, and she elects to stay on port to the outside. Tulloch is not happy with this, so she goes for a sharp luff on the Portuguese team. Goncalves responds with pace and pulls forward to the leeward mark. Now it's time to jibe for the mark. Goncalves jibes, goes for a luff. We're in the zone, and the Portuguese team is in the lead. But only just. Tulloch jibes to the outside. It's bow to bow as we head back upwind. The first cross upwind, a big moment for Team USA. Tulloch tacks ahead. Goncalves doesn't like that position. She'll tack away, but have starboard tack advantage when the boats meet again. Top mark, it is Tulloch, and this is the final mark of the race. For Goncalves, time is running out, but the run is where we saw her come from behind before. Tulloch is in trouble. Goncalves comes on strong. This is just like the first run. We've been watching match racing all week, and Goncalves is definitely one of the fastest competitors here on the water. Now it's Goncalves' turn to luff Tulloch. We're heading to the finish. Jibe for jibe. These two teams are identical. Now Tulloch is to leeward. We're on ley line. One final jibe to square it up for the line. These two teams have been dead even the whole way round, but the finish goes to Goncalves, which is agonizing for Tulloch. The fight for the final spot in the front for the men is equally as close as Haddad tacks on top of Bennett. Haddad has to shoot up to make the mark and slow down a little bit. That allows Bennett to close gauge, but will it be enough? Bennett has closed gauge on Haddad as we round the leeward mark, but will it be enough to attack on the final run? It's the moment of truth for Bennett. Haddad looks strong at the top mark. At the finish, the game is the same. The fourth spot for the men will go to Enrique Haddad from Brazil. And it seems the racing action is getting a lot closer, which is what you'd expect, as we have now whittled down to the top four in both the women's and opens division. Tomorrow begins the semifinals of the Nations Cup. I'm Tucker Thompson. We'll see you then.